Hello everyone, I am Dr. N.Senthil, Associate Professor Computer Science Engineering. Great pleasure for me to welcome you all for this session.
In this session, topic to be covered is Internet, e-commerce, countermeasures, and challenges under cybersecurity evolution. At the end of Unit 1, the students will be able to describe the cybersecurity policy and evolution for purpose of computer forensics. At the end of the session, the students will be able to understand the Internet, e-commerce, countermeasures, and challenges under cybersecurity evolution. Now we will see about Internet and cybersecurity evolution. By the late 1980s, the communication across city boundaries had achieved the same level of maturity as LAN. The territory services were available that allowed businesses to connect and be connected to the research and military restricted Advanced Research Project Agency network, that is ARPANET. One of these researchers was Robert Morris at AT&T Bell Laboratories. He was an early computer pioneer to the extent that he actually had computers at his home long before they were marketed to consumers. His son, Robert Tappan Morris, raised up around these computers and was very familiar with the ways in which they could be used without permission of their owners. In 1988, the Robert Tappan Morris devised the first internet worm. The Morris worm accessed computers used as email servers, exploited vulnerabilities to identify all the computers that were known to each email server and then contracted all of those computers and attempted the same exploits. The only organization on the ARPANET that was safe from the Morris worm was AT&T Bell Laboratories. The organization had developed method of inspecting each individual packet within a stream of network traffic, that is firewall. During the 1994, sources and destination in the network access rules were formulated. The port number that serves as access address for software running on each computer. Primary cybersecurity implementation strategy to deploy the firewalls. Computer emergency response team to provide technical assistance to those who suffered from cybersecurity problems. Now we will see about e-commerce under cybersecurity evolution. This diagram illustrates how these networks were typically connected in the early 1990s. The circles show where physical security is keen to protect network equipment. The devices represent the logical location of firewalls and telecommunication lines connections to other firms. The telecommunication lines are portrayed as logically segmented spaces where the lines to business partners terminate on the internal network. The software rush to the internet marketplace in the mid 1990s indicated a new era of e-commerce, a generic term for the exchange of goods and services using the internet as a medium. The vulnerabilities in software became the source of what was then called the port 80 problem. The port 80 is the port on a firewall that has to be opened in order to external users to access the web services. Web application developers recognized this and know how the web server technology could be exploited to gain access to the internal network. Demilitarized zone DMZ network architecture became the new security standard. DMZ was an area of network that allowed internet access to a well-defined set of specific services. This diagram depicts a typical network topology in the mid 1990s. The V's with the lines through them indicates the antivirus software was installed in the type of machines identified. The P's stand for patches that were and still are frequently recorded on the associated computers. The shade of gray used to identify the security technology. The dashed lines encircles the equipment that is typically found in demilitarized zone (DMZ). At the time, the LANs were propagating across remote locations. Even lately, small companies might have hundreds of PCs and dozens of servers. All of the security software is very difficult to manage. And antivirus vendors came up with antivirus management servers that track each PCs in a company inventory to make sure it had a most up-to-date signatures. The situation was not comfortable but seemed controllable, and the e-commerce opportunities indicated. The customers now expected to not just find a catalog or phone number on company websites, but actually place orders and receive reports. The first such sites were troubled with risk of fraud and threats to confidentiality because of the number of telecommunication devices that suddenly gained access to customer information, including credit card numbers. To enable the businesses to clog customer communication in secrecy, a web software company introduced a new encrypted communications protocol called Secure Socket Layer (SSL) and Transport Layer Security (TLS). The SSL security configuration was difficult for e-commerce customers to manage, and users confused with root certificate downloading process and questions about the certificates. The clients of any company who had invested in a certificate authority rather than buying the certificates from a company like VeriSign would receive a warning that the certificate was untrusted. Even without such certificates, dealing with the customers over the internet was hard to manage. Managing the external users required specialized software. Identity management system was developed to ease the administration and integrate customer login information and online activity with the existing customer relationship management processes. Late 1990s, the e-commerce companies were highly dependent on their technology workforce for software support and had long been paying for dedicated dial-up lines. Rather than pay for both, they allowed users to access servers remotely from the internet. The virtual private network technology is used to maintain the confidentiality of customer information. The entire remote access session would have to be encrypted. Innovative security companies relieved organizations from their virus checking duties by providing network level intrusion detection system IDS. That is the host IDS and network IDS. This diagram demonstrates the state of security technology in early 2000s. E-commerce security recommends had motivated the startup of security software companies that produce the additional gray security boxes that appear in the diagram. These internal software change the detection mechanisms were also called host intrusion detection system to differentiate them from network intrusion detection system that was deployed at the network periphery. Now we will see about countermeasures under cybersecurity evolution. Emails that look like the normal communication from financial institutions contained links to malicious look-alike sites that either trick users into typing their passwords into malicious sites or into the downloading malicious software, that is malware, from the malicious sites, that is the phishing attack. One type of malware locks user keystrokes and send usernames and passwords to criminal data collection websites, that is spyware. Antivirus and intrusion detection vendors still create signatures for latest spyware and malware. Other countermeasures are intrusion detection technology. Offer the security operations centers, that is SOC staff, a feature that would serve the network connection of any user who was downloading malware. But to accomplish it, they had to replace all of their IDs, that is with the intrusion prevention system. The software to destroy all data if a user enters too many inaccurate passwords, theft of storage devices, encrypting devices, safeguard encryption keys. This diagram represents the state of practice of cybersecurity. Encryption mechanisms are deployed on both critical servers and remote devices. The content filters prevent users from sending sensitive information to the internet. Intrusion prevention devices have replaced intrusion detection devices. Web access firewalls accompany internet facing applications. Now we will see about the challenges in cybersecurity. The terminology has morphed from the computer security to information security to cybersecurity. The basic concept has remained unchanged. In a world where the computers control financial stability, healthcare system, power grids, and weapon system, the importance of the cybersecurity policy has been more significant and is likely to increase in significance over the next several decades. The threat is one of the countermeasures. The dangerous threat come from criminals. The identity theft will be happened. The lost laptops and the backup tabs that contain large quantities of PII used to commit identity theft. New paradigms of thinking about cybersecurity protection now. This diagram describes the path taken by today's hackers. It is the same path that cyberspace engineers have created to allow authorized users into the system. Cybersecurity can keep out the joyriders. In many domains, the joyriders are not even perceived as an issue anymore, as the more dangerous threats come from criminals and espionage agents. Note that our description of the evolution of cybersecurity in no way implies that the way it has evolved is in fact effective or even appropriate. Every one of the security devices in the diagram is recommended by current cybersecurity standards. In this summary, we learned about internet, e-commerce, countermeasures and challenges under cybersecurity evolution. I mentioned references here.
I hope you found this lecture is more useful. Thank you and have a pleasant day.